can let some people trickle in, but without further ado, we have the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers here. They are a student organization at WVU, and they are going to be presenting tonight about renewable energy, or as they like to call renewable electricity, which is very cute. So thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to listening to this presentation.
Hi guys, thanks for coming to our presentation. So just like Lillian said, we're going to be talking about renewable electricity. So first of all, what is sustainability? So all life on Earth depends on our environment outside. So sustainability means that we can use what we need to survive, but make sure future generations and future people will have enough stuff to survive on their own too. So an example of this is to make sure we recycle. So do any of you guys recycle at home or at school? Yeah? All right. Okay, so what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. So it takes everything for energy. It takes energy for us to change, for us to move around. Some examples are driving to school, cooking dinner, brushing your teeth. What else uses energy? Do you guys want to say, do you want to tell me what else uses energy? You can put it in the chat. Everything you do uses energy, and we want to find a way to recycle energy so that it can be sustainable.
Nova, I see your hands up. Do you want to tell Callan what uses energy?
Does sweating use energy? Because I'm sweating right now in my very hot room.
Yes, it does. Does anyone else know what uses energy? Zoom calls, TV? Yeah, those use energy too. Everything we do uses energy. So again, we want to find a way to recycle this energy so that it can be sustainable, which is what we talked about on the last slide. Yeah, video games too. So how is electricity made? So I'm sure everyone in here knows about electricity. When you flip a light switch, your lights will come on. So that's because of electricity. And electricity is made by transforming other resources like coal and water into usable power. And think of coal as a caterpillar and electricity as the butterfly. So coal can turn into electricity, just like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. And electricity is flowing energy, as you can see in this little diagram right here. And just like water flows in a stream or a creek, electrons flow through these wires to make our light bulbs come on in our rooms.
So now I'm going to talk a little bit about renewable energy. Renewable energy is just any kind of energy that is made from resources that are replaced by nature. So natural energy gets converted into stored energy, and that stored energy is converted into energy that we can use to do all the things that Callan was just talking about. However, the problem is that most of the energy that we're using today is not renewable. So later people, they're not going to have as many resources if we keep using this not renewable energy. So we're going to tell you guys about some different forms of renewable energy. The first one is solar energy. And so the rays of sunlight come down and the rays of sunlight are converted into electricity. And fun fact, the sun is actually the most abundant energy source. And you guys might be familiar with solar panels, and solar panels convert solar energy into usable energy. So here we have some pictures of solar panels. So we have solar panel fields. People can even have them on the roofs of their houses. And if you have a calculator that has a little like black rectangle in the corner, that you might have a solar powered calculator.
The second one is hydroelectric. And what hydroelectric means, hydro means water and electric means electricity. So what it is converting flowing water into electricity. And the way this works, if you look at the little animation down there, is you have these things called turbines, which are fans that spin to make electricity. And so when you get water flowing from streams and rivers and creeks and flow them through, like in the top right picture, through a turbine, you're able to generate electricity without producing any toxic waste.
Okay, so now we have wind energy. So like Maddox said, wind energy, they use these things called wind turbines, which you can see in the lower right. And basically the wind will hit on the turbine and spin it. And those turbines are attached to a rotor, which will generate electricity. And then you have geothermal, which is really easy to remember because geo basically means earth and thermal means heat. So it's energy made from the heat from the earth. So basically they make these wells that will reach the hot steam and water that's underneath the earth. And then those are connected to turbines, which then makes electricity.
And so now we made two demonstrations of solar panels and turbines, in which we connected a solar panel to a nice little light bulb to turn it on, and a turbine to a light bulb in order to turn it on. Here
Can you
we're going
guys
to be
see the
loading up
video?
the video.
Can you hear it? All right, how about now?
Into the demos, I did want to show this piece of equipment that we
It's
will
playing
be
right
using,
now.
known as a breadboard. And what a breadboard is used for is to connect things that require electricity to flow through them. And if you look closely here, this is the front side of the breadboard and the back side of the breadboard. These rails are connected differently. We have
Can you not see it moving?
let me bring
I'm
Want
just
me to
gonna
try to share my
reshare.
screen?
Yeah.
All right. Can you all see it? All right, perfect. I'm going to play it now.
Malik, I think you have to share your audio too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Did you go to like your sharing options and then do like share computer audio?
Yeah, I got it now. All right. One last try.
Hi everyone. Before we jump right into the demos, I did want to show this piece of equipment that we will be using, known as a breadboard. And what a breadboard is used for is to connect things that require electricity to flow through them. And if you look closely here, this is the front side of the breadboard and the back side of the breadboard. These rails are connected differently. We have, let me bring this up closer, the positive and negative rails, as you see here, they show a red and black.
Oops, sorry about that.
Hi everyone. Before we jump right into the demos, I did want to known for data flow rails are connected differently. We have, let me bring this up closer, the positive and negative rails, as you see here, they show a red and black vertical line that runs up and down, and these letters A through J over here. And so to quickly look at the back side, we can see that the metal connection for the power rails are a little different than the metal connection for the letter rails, as I'll call them. And so the power rails, all they do is that they run up and down, whereas the letter ones, they go from left to right. Keep a note that there is a jump right here, and so this one and this one is not connected. They're not connected across here, whereas here they are. You can see that they actually are. And so this breadboard and this breadboard is a little different, and I will be using this one for the demos just to keep it consistent and so that we can avoid any confusion. Okay everyone, now let's jump right into the demos. Our first demo will include solar powered electricity. In this case, I have a really small solar panel which has a positive and negative side, the way a battery works, to give electricity. And I will be using this really small LED, which stands for light emitting diode. And what that really means is it gives off light. That's what light emitting means. And diode means that it only lets electricity go one way. And so if we take a closer look at this diode here, this LED, we have a long side and a short side. And the rule of thumb here is that the long side will always be the positive side, whereas the short side will always be the negative side. So let's go ahead and connect this LED to the power rails of our breadboard. And now all we need to do is take the power of the solar panel and connect red to red and black to black. And we see here that the LED did shine a little bit. And so because we're inside, there's not that much sun, I will be using my phone flashlight to show that when I flash more light on the solar panel, it'll generate more electricity, and you'll be able to tell because this LED will get brighter. If you see right there, as I turn on my flashlight, it gets brighter. When I turn it off, it immediately gets a little dimmer. And so now for our second demo, before we jump right in, I did want to kind of show the breadboard beforehand, as I did make these jumper wire connections. And what this allows me to do is lets me connect everything in the place that I need connected without worrying whether or not I will have electricity flow in the right way. Because if the electricity does not flow, then the LED that we will be connecting will not turn on. And so two big components that we will be using for this circuit is a regular diode, which works in the same sense as an LED, except it does not shine. It doesn't give off any light. And instead of being able to tell by the length of these pins, you can see this little black mark right there that shows that electricity goes in and outside from the black mark there, that way. And so another thing we will be using is these connectors right here. And how they work is if I take a screwdriver and screw these tops in, these entrances right there will move, and if this could focus, clamp on to whatever wire I put in there. You can see the inside clamping in and out. And this is perfect for the type of turbine that we have because it has these loose connections that we will be inserting in those connectors, and we will be spinning to generate electricity. And so I'll be quickly making this circuit. So now we have everything connected together, and so when I spin this, we can see the LED flashes. So if I really spin it fast, you see it flashes up and down, but I'm twisting it in different ways. So the way that this usually would work is that you'll have a fan on here, and you'll have water or air, or really anything that can push the fan in one direction and keep it spinning consistently so that the electricity can flow. Hi everyone.
And so does anyone have any questions? If there are, if you do, you can, say it out loud, or if you wanted to put it in the chat, feel free to. We also prepared a nice little word search activity for you all too. And if you have any questions, you can, stay in. Oh, how common is wind energy? There's a lot of wind turbines around the world. The problem is you need places that actually get a lot of wind. And so in places that aren't very windy, you're not going to be seeing wind turbines. Whereas in places, like Kansas, where it's all flat and there's a lot of wind, tornadoes and whatnot, you'll have a lot of wind turbines, and that's where you'll be getting energy from the wind. I hope that answered your question. Anyone else?
You can ask us questions about anything. If not, we hope you guys enjoy your word search. If you click on the link in the chat, you can play it.
Are there wind and solar power plants? So I don't believe there are, because wind and solar and renewable energy aren't that big right now. People are mainly focused on coal and gas and natural gases. And so hopefully in the future, we can see some wind and solar power plants as it becomes more popular among people.